What up, Dokkanners? With everything that is set to drop on Global later on tonight, people are going to be busy with all sorts of events and content. However, with the 4th of December being the release of the Christmas festivities, does that necessarily mean we're not going to be getting some sort of a summon very soon after? We could still be headed, folks, for a banner release on the 14th of December. And will that banner end up being our boy Fusion ZAMASU, or will he also be cast into the ether just like the Golden Frieza and come back at some point in the future? Let's discuss, because there is a very interesting precedent that has been set on Global for the past 4 years. 4 years. So there could be some change coming up, or we could be going back to the same exact thing that we've had in years past. So if this surprise banner, if we do get one, ends up being a unit that you weren't expecting, I'm here to tell you that it actually might have already been set in stone from before. So let's discuss that. First, looking at the date. The date is December 14th. That's the date to look out for, because that is when we get those unofficial Part 2 banners during the holiday season. So this year, with December 4th being the Christmas release, 10 days later, about 12, almost 2 weeks, that is within the realm of possibilities for another banner to be releasing. Let's take a look back at years past, and I know that the Gohan Beast is here. In my previous videos, I've been discussing where this could be popping up, where he could ultimately end up being, and we just don't know. So, you know what? Let me just put him in a separate line here, because we have no idea. But we still have Golden Frieza to deal with. We got the merged ZAMASU. So there's just so much uncertainty. I don't know where to put these guys, man. Like, help. What do I do? Anyway, let's take a look at years past, and you will understand what I am talking about with this this whole precedent thing. So last year, 2021, December 2nd, we had Tech, Kale, and Caulifla. Okay. For the Part 2, we had a Rising Dragon Carnival banner, and we had the LR Godku and Hit. December 14th. That was 12 days after Kale and Caulifla's release. So yeah, not the best time for spenders, but still. Going back to 2020, in the same time slot as the Kale and Caulifla and this year's Trunks and Vegeta, we had the LR Goku and Vegeta Blue. For that Part 2, we had a Rising Dragon joint banner, but we did have an EZA and an Extreme Z area for some Universe Survival Saga characters. Oops, did I say the category? That's right, folks. Universe Survival Saga. Every single, that's right, even 2019 year. 2019 Part 2, 2018. We have had Universe Survival Saga representation during the holiday season in some form or fashion every single year. The one portion where it sort of breaks is during Part 2 of this year in 2020, where we had the Gohan banner. This was because this was a joint banner with JP. Last year's Christmas banner was a global exclusive thing. JP had, I think, Future Gohan and Trunks. So Global just had this. They had their Godku and Hit earlier, I believe. So this is the only real point that it breaks, but still, there is some sort of a representation for Universe Survival Saga in every single part in the Christmas banner, from the Christmas celebration, Part 1, Part 2, and then back when before they really adopted this whole Part 1, Part 2 thing, we had the Blue Kaioken 2019, and then we had, this was the Part 2, but then back in 2018, before we had the Part 2 thing, we had Tech Hito, which was a global first. So yeah, with all of that said, and with all that we are supposed to be getting over the next few months, could we be getting a brand new banner altogether in Part 2, or could it just be something more simple, like an event, sort of like how we got on the 2020 banner? If that were to be the case, then that could maybe mean that Global and JP could be headed towards some sort of a Divine Dragon Carnival banner that is joint. So let's take a look at the dates for that. Let's see if we actually could be headed towards some sort of a joint celebration or some joint banner with Global JP. So the Elder Kai ritual summons started on the 27th for us. They're ending on the 11th of December, 10:30 p.m. So basically the 12th. And then if we look at JP, for their Dokkan Festival, their current Dokkan Festival is Yamcha. This occupies the same slot as the androids from last year. Last year, their Part 2 was a Divine Dragon Carnival banner, but it was its own thing. Global didn't have that. So for this year, if this was their previous year, then Global or JP could be heading towards a Divine Dragon Carnival banner, which would then also mean potentially a Carnival summon, which could mean coins. And if that is the case, their Elder Kai ritual summon ends on the 15th of December. Now, this is JST, so for most of the world, this means the 14th. So could we potentially be heading towards some sort of a joint carnival celebration with JP, which would then once again break this argument or break this whole pattern of the Universe Survival Saga, and then perhaps we get some sort of an EZA instead? It's possible. Or what could be happening is Global is going to receive some sort of a legendary summon during the 14th of December that has something to do with Universe Survival Saga and that simply just shoves everything back even more. There's no way of knowing right now, but the reason why I said all this is also because we received this recently on both Global and JP. This asset was added on both Global and JP almost at the same time. I wonder why. JP and Global typically have different data download dates, but when they did, both received this in one of their more recent updates. So this doesn't necessarily mean that Popo is going to be the next LR by any stretch, but this is a scripted event asset in some story event. And could this be one? I think this is from one that we already got. Pretty sure they wouldn't just drop a random asset like this for no reason. Pretty sure this is updating an asset from an older story event, but they only do that if they are going to be updating the story event because it is coming back for something prominent coming soon. So little food for thought there, folks. We could, in fact, be switching gears entirely and not even going with the banners that we were expecting, but instead we're going to be heading towards some sort of a carnival summon. Now, this is also especially weird since Global already received what could have been in this slot, the Rising Dragon Carnival banner, earlier this year when the Tech Pan Dokkan Fest came out. That corresponding part 2 ended up being the Fasha and Chilai Rising Dragon Carnival banner. We got that around, what was that, like September or something like that? So we already had a Rising Dragon Carnival, but we could be heading towards another one, either just ourselves or JP or both, or we are getting a brand new LR altogether in a legendary summon. There's no way of knowing yet, but I want you guys to be aware that this is why I've been stressing, don't just necessarily summon right away. Give yourself some time, give yourself a couple of days in between your major summons, because as we inch closer towards future dates, there could be announcements that are surfacing that could indicate something else entirely is coming up. Imagine if there is no Gohan Beast just yet. Imagine if Frieza is not coming up. Imagine if LR Merge ZAMASU isn't showing up and we get some busted LR, I don't know, Dispo and Popo or something like that, and they have like the most insane kit. Some of you, not all of you, some of you might want it. So in order to have the flexibility and the luxury to make those choices, I would urge that you guys very carefully navigate yourselves through these celebrations, because Christmas time on Global is absolutely ridiculous. And if you're not a whale, you ain't surviving, you gonna drown. All right, so that's it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, do you think LR Merge ZAMASU is going to be showing up during part 2? Or do you think we are going to be getting some sort of a Universe Survival Saga rep in the form of an EZA or perhaps a summon? Let me know your conspiracy theories in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more dope content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let YouTube know you want to see more of my stuff. Do it. I do want to mention I will also be going live tonight. This is going to be a very busy stream because I will probably be doing some Christmas summons. Just me, not you. You shouldn't be doing it. But then I also might be doing some Extreme Z battling, some clashing, the chain battle might be another video. So there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. Make sure you guys have your notification bells turned to all as well so that you don't miss the live stream, because there has been some issues recently where people don't see the live stream. So make sure you guys are there so you don't miss all of this good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.